I was going to show you all some of the basic functions of the of Mendeley, and then of course open it up to questions, and you guys kind of go try it out on your own, and of course you can always follow up with me with any questions or anything like that. So hopefully we get through pretty early, so if you guys do have any questions as you're going along, you can ask me. My name is Ryan Gaylor, and I'm the distance learning librarian for the University of St. Augustine. And our little presentation tonight is going to be about, it's in our month-long celebration of citation managers. So the one we're doing tonight is going to be in Introduction to Mendeley. Join with me tonight is Gemma Rose. Gemma is our she works on the St. Augustine campus as the circulation manager in the library, and she's joining us tonight just to sort of give us a hand. And yeah, Gemma. Sorry.
I've been called Jimmy too.
Gemma. Sorry about that. Say hello. Yeah.
Hi everyone. Good evening. Welcome. We're gonna have fun tonight.
yeah, we're gonna have fun. Right. I know. Citation managers, Mendeley. All right. So just real quick, Gemma, you can see my PowerPoint slide?
Yes, I can.
All right, let's go ahead and get going. So what we're going to cover tonight in the agenda is just a little introduction into Mendeley, a sort of a quick overview of the program. I'm going to show you basically the sort of getting started process of it, using the program. It has, just like a lot of the citation managers, it has two program components. One of them is an online account, which is more of a if you're not on your home computer sort of account, and then you have a version of your Mendeley library that's also downloaded and parked on your home computer as well, and we'll kind of talk a little bit about some of the differences in those. I'd say that Mendeley's web account is probably the most diverse in comparison to EndNote and Zotero. Someone's got a hot mic.
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you. So, and then do the inserting citations into Microsoft Word, and if we have time, we'll have questions. I'm sure we'll be able to get through it. So what is Mendeley? Mendeley is a free reference manager and social media networking tool. That is a definite, that's a distinction definitely between Mendeley and some of the other tools that are available to you, and that are supported by the USA Library, is that it's weird. It's almost like Zotero, partnered together with your LinkedIn account, but then also brought along an entire open access library too. So yeah, it's a very interesting tool and very dynamic for sure. It's similar to Zotero in really just a couple of minor ways. I'd say mainly that it's free is one of them. It also comes with a web importer tool that is very similar to Zotero's. I would say it's similar in its location and I guess the basic functionality of it, but personally speaking, I'd say that Zotero's web importer is better as far as being able to extract bibliographic information a lot better and a lot cleaner. I'd say that's definitely one of the perks for sure. And then there's a close to, this was the last time I did the presentations, about 6.5 million users of it. And again, it's like I said, there's a desktop version, a web account that you sign up for, and there's also the browser extension similar to Zotero. So getting started with it is just like Zotero. It's also pretty easy, I would say. As soon as I get off the next two slides, was going to take you over to Mendeley's website and sort of walk you through I would say like the basic steps of how to download the program. Of course, we're not going to have time to actually go through the process of downloading the program. For one, it takes just a little bit of time, but then at the same time, I already have it downloaded to my computer, so we just sort of skip that step. But I'll take you there and kind of show you how to get everything set up, and then we'll. Yes.
Ryan, could you go back one slide? We have a request to look at the last bullets.
Yeah. What is the difference between the three that were on the final bullet of the previous slide? So the desktop application is, of course, it's the one that is downloaded to the desktop of your computer, and then the web account, of course, is the one that you're going to log in with when you're on Mendeley's homepage, and then the browser extension is the tool that allows you to quickly import citations into your library. Did that answer the question?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, desktop web version, just mentioned that. We'll get to that in a minute. So some of the differences between the two accounts, my apologies for this picture. It's not looking as good as it did before. Our Mendeley web account, which I will show you where to go just to sign up for that. It's a real quick sign up process for that. But what exactly is the Mendeley web account, and what are some of the differences between the Mendeley web account and the Mendeley desktop and the desktop application? Well, on the Mendeley web, you browse papers. You can browse open access papers that have been uploaded by other scholars in other fields. You can add people to your social research network. This is also where you would go to install your web importer, and also just to sort of fix it. Or they also have a lot of FAQ section and a training library guide too, that is accessible through the web account. There's also, this is where, of course, you would be managing your general account, and like I said, I'll walk you through sort of how to get that process started. With your web account, of course, it basically one of the major benefits of it is that theoretically you can take your library with you anywhere. So you can add citations if you're on your home computer or not. I would say the most important part of that, of course, is that when you are on your desktop application, just to make sure that you sync information. There's also you can upload PDFs, read and annotate PDFs, create folders, groups. Like I said, it's very interesting with the web account, and this is probably one of the major citation tools where it's beneficial to really have both active at the same time. Is there a question?
Yes, there is. What is FHU?
I don't know. Is that somewhere on the slide? That's interesting.
I thought you had mentioned that in the last slide.
FAQ. FAQ, yes. There's an FAQ area that basically will cover things like your frequently asked questions about adding citations, issues with say your web importer and things like that. Yeah, sorry about that. There's a little bit of my misspeaking, I wonder. So Mendeley desktop account. This is of course is the one that you would download to your computer. This is where you just like your online account, you can you can add citations. This is where you can also insert citations into Word. There are actually 2 ways to do it, and you can do it from your desktop library, as well as while you are writing in your Microsoft Word document. You can create bibliographies, you can import libraries from other platforms, create folders and groups, and read and annotate PDFs as well. So let me go check it out. I'm going to switch gears really quick. If anybody has any questions while I move on, one moment. Just going to share, going to go to Mendeley.com, which is the website where you would start the download process. Just give me 1 second. All right, Gemma, do you see Mendeley.com, the webpage?
I sure do. Looks good.
Thank you very much. So Mendeley.com. So this is where you would come to create your free account. It takes just a few minutes to do that. This is also where the download is. You would go here to the download process, and just like Zotero, it basically walks you through the entire process. And like I said, just for the sake of time and also the fact that I already have it downloaded to my machine, it's a pretty quick download. At that, just click on it, it'll populate, and then you follow along with each of the prompts, and then it should be downloaded to your computer. That's the desktop version, of course. The online account version, or the web account, which is encouraged, and I think it's very, like I said, I think it's very important for this platform, probably more than it is for EndNote and Zotero. So I already have an account, so I'm just going to go ahead and log in and sort of show you some of the features of the account. So typically, when you on your account's landing page, you'll see almost like a sort of a Facebook news feed that exists, and it's going to be under feed here. And this is going to be anywhere from alerts of say articles that you have added to your library, or it can also be alerts to articles that are open access articles included in the Mendeley library that are similar to the ones that are in your Mendeley library as well. That's kind of one of my favorite qualities, really, is that the Mendeley, Mendeley not only has, it's a citation manager, it kind of has a social media sort of aspect to it, but then at the same time, it also comes with its own open access library, which is great. It basically, Mendeley takes all of the references and open access content that is added by its users, and uses them to basically populate Mendeley's online literature library. It's and then along with that, of course, it also the online account has a very sophisticated algorithm which examines, some of the articles, that you have added to your library, or let's say topics that you're interested in, or something like that, and then it gives you possible matches to it, which is bar none. I mean, I don't know of another citation manager that actually gives you something like that. So it's really great. And yeah, that's actually one of the coolest features about it, is that it has its own searchable library. So like backpedal. It's, you have a citation manager, you have like kind of a research social media network, and then at the same time, you also get like a whole bunch of other open access free content. So like that is, you know, that is absolutely fantastic. And so you can, as you can see here, you can expand your own like research network by following researchers. I'll just go through some of these and kind of show you. This is the citations updates, article suggestions, which is probably going to pop up with a couple of different things because I've been adding articles. So there's going to be a few things that are popping up that say, oh, if you like this article, then you might like this article. And what's great is that you can add the citation to your library, and oftentimes it comes with the free viewable PDF as well. And if I had any articles published that I uploaded, that would appear here. Now, the library that I've been adding to, this is the web library version, as I can maybe do a comparison. Gemma, can you see both libraries, the desktop library and the web library?
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool.
With that view that you're in now.
Perfect, thank you. So yeah, you can kind of see some of the differences, but there's a lot of similarities here compared to the web, or compared to the desktop version, which is marked Mendeley desktop, and then your actual web account. It's got a lot of the same similar features, layouts, buttons, and things of that. We'll come back to the desktop in just a minute. But yeah, very helpful to use. Suggested articles is also going to pop up here under suggestions, of course, as well as people to follow, which is great. These are groups that you can join as well, as far as extending your research social network. I was looking for the FAQ area they have on here. This is the data sets. There is.
And Ryan, oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Go
When
ahead.
you get a chance, could you please go back and show the feed option?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. The feed option right there. It's at the very front. It's the first little option on your account. And like I said, this is going to be, just think of it as like your Facebook or Twitter news feed. That's kind of how it works. It sort of cascades down for the desktop option. The desktop option doesn't exactly have the feed option, or if it does, I'm not exactly aware that it exists. The desktop option, which is the one that I'm doing right now, the one that is housed on your computer. If I'm not sure there is a feed option, there could be, and I'm not aware of it, but yeah, it usually just has only the basics of adding citations, creating folders, related articles, syncing, stuff like that. But yeah, that doesn't appear, at least to my knowledge, doesn't appear in the desktop option. You can create a profile, or at least make more of an in-depth profile as well. Like if there's an about page, there are public groups that you can join, research interests, and so on. Like I said, it's very, very similar to your to your LinkedIn account basically, but it's a citation manager at the same time. So that's the desktop version really. There's not too much to it other than you can add content to it, you can edit content, you can read articles from it as well. So yeah, let me go to the desktop really quick. Before I go to the desktop, the last thing I want to show you for the web part before we move on is adding the Mendeley web importer, which I think you guys can see that at the top. It's red. It's right next to my little camera icon and my name, or at least the letter R. The Mendeley web importer here is key to using Mendeley, especially when it comes to importing citations into your library, and I'll show you how to do that in just one moment. So let's see, bring that back up. All right, so this is the desktop version, which looks a little bit different. It's got the same setup though, with the three columns. This is your sort of library column. This is where you can search Mendeley's um, uh, um, articles and content that they have collected. This is where you can view your citations that have already been added. You can add notes to the citations. You can also view the PDFs that are attached to some of these citations as well. And as you see, it does definitely pull out a lot of bibliographic information. So that's always good. Out of really, I don't know about everything really that's in the that's in the desktop library, but one of the most important functions to think about when you're using the desktop library is every time that you're on the page, I have almost kind of get in the habit of hitting the sync button. And I'd say get in the habit of hitting the sync button because it's very important to have both the desktop library as well as your Mendeley web um, uh, um, um, library sync together. It's very important. There may be a way to actually do it automatically. I have not figured that out yet. So I've almost like conditioned myself to be in the habit that if I'm working in the library and let's say I make a change to one of the articles, change a date here, change it to 2016, that I make sure that when I do that, I'll sync it up just to make sure that it stays and it'll update everything. So when I go to the web library, it'll reflect that. I should have looked at the citation that I did that for. I guess it was this one. Yeah. So it will automatically update the entry here, and of course vice versa. So kind of if you're going to use Mendeley, just sort of get in the habit of using the sync button. Now of course, all of the platforms they have all of the platforms that have both a web component and a desktop component, they all have syncing features. Some of them do them. Some of them do it automatically. Some of them don't. I would say that until I guess we can sort of figure out just the way to sort of set it up to do it automatically, just kind of get yourself in the habit of just hitting the sync button. So a little bit about some of the other buttons and features. A lot of it is pretty self-explanatory. Like how to add files, create folders, add entries manually, delete documents, of course, synchronize your library, sign out of your account. This would be where you would edit or copy and paste content into your library. These are the view that's sort of set up. You can who can change it to your liking. Some of the additional tools that are also available, one being if for some reason the web importer is not downloaded when you first begin to use the program, you can click on right there, tools, and install web importer, and then go there, and it'll walk you through that entire process. So going back, other tools to keep in mind, the MS Word plugin, and that definitely has to be in your Microsoft, has to be embedded into your Microsoft into your Microsoft Office, just so you have the ability to insert citations into a Word document. You also have this great feature, which is for checking for duplicates. This becomes really helpful when you're doing a literature review And I would say specifically when you're doing the Prisma diagram, where you know, with your individual searches, you then have to search for duplicate articles. And I would say out of each of the platforms, I would say Mendeley's check for duplicates is really, really good. And then, of course, what I was mentioning before about the different help guides that they have, that's located under help. We can connect and go right to those in a minute, but there are also some you can go to pretty quickly. Go strictly to the Mendeley website, the FAQ, contact support, and we'll just go to the help guides to show you that it's there. I'm going to put this link in the chat actually for anyone that wants to use it. They have really, really great help content here. A lot of great videos as well. So let's do some adding content to the library really quick. I'm just going to go to the USA Library for an example. So I'll do, you know, the rehabilitation. Stroke. Of course, log in. Okay, so we're searching for, and we search for an article. Let's just do a sample of adding an article to the Mendeley library. Of course, this is our desktop library that we have in front of us here. I'm going to minimize it so we can look at the screen. I'll pick this one, and let's say that we want to add this one. So I already have the web importer downloaded right here. And so let's say that I really like this article. I would like to add it to my library. Just like it is in Zotero, you go up to the browser extension, click on it, and then it'll come up with this this reference option. And you'll also see this as well, which is the web page option. The difference between the two of these is that the first reference, which is up here, recognizes that this is a journal article. So if you click on it, it's decided its reference type, deemed it a journal article, and so then it's extracted the appropriate information for your library, and the fact that it's a journal article, namely title, year, volume, issue, things of that nature, is all neatly placed in there, which is fantastic. Now, this definitely is when it's easy. I would say this when this happens, when you're searching through Search USA, or if you're in a database and you're searching through and the first option for journal reference pops up, that's always a good sign. What's sometimes happens, and one of the things that I'm not a big fan of, is that it also most of the time will give you this second option, which is the web page option. The web page option and the journal reference option are essentially the same thing. It's just that the web importer is reading it both as a journal article, because it is a journal article, but then it's also looking at it as a web page. Occasionally, and I'll show you an example if I find one, I think there's probably the next one will be the example, is that sometimes when you're in Search USA and you find the content that you really want to add to your library, it doesn't come up as a journal article, but comes up as a web page. And so when it does come up like that, you know, it's not a bad thing or anything like that, because the best part about it is that you can click on web page, you can click on the option for web page, go up, turn it into a journal article, and then since you're right there, you can turn around and basically copy and paste the author's names and things like that into the section, like so, and you can just like continue to add it and then scroll through, make sure all the information is there and correct. And like I said, you can copy and paste a lot of this stuff in there. That doesn't always happen, but it does happen from time to time where for some reason it doesn't recognize it as a journal article, but instead says, oh, well, I know this may be a journal, but it's a web page. So do you want to add it to your library as a web page, or do you want to add it as a journal article? You kind of hope that it's journal article, but sometimes it does happen where it comes up just as web page. This one, thankfully, comes up as a journal reference. So if we want to move it to our library, all we do is check mark it and just select it, and then click add to Mendeley library. Before I move on from that, last thing I want to mention is the PDF not found. This does happen from time to time as well. Usually if the PDF is not like an open access PDF, it will not locate the PDF. But if it's open access somewhere on the web, or if it's been uploaded to Mendeley's library, it'll find it for you and then attached. In a situation like this, where we know we can connect to the PDF and to the full text by just clicking on View Record from Science Direct, we'll have to go that route to connect the PDF. So it's one of the downsides to it. I was working with a faculty member and student as well, and I'm pretty sure this used to not be the case, or maybe there's a setting that's been activated that's a little different from the last time that I've worked with Mendeley. But it's kind of it's a minor workaround to add the PDF. You'll see if you came to my EndNote presentation last week, that it sort of functions sort of a similar way, where you can add the citation to your Mendeley library, but then you have to do a little background work to download the PDF and then attach the PDF to the citation. And I'll show you how to do that right now. So we'll do add to Mendeley library. So it's only going to take the bibliographic information here. And we got to make sure our article shows up there. Be on the habit of hidden sync, because this, of course, will add your article, but then it also keeps your web account up to date as well. I'm going to, I think I lost it. Where did it go? Lee, okay. So it's going to be this one right here. And so when you add a citation to your library, this will pop up as well, which will kind of it basically is it's Mendeley's final check, just to make sure that the information here is all there and it's correct. And you can, either look at it and say, yeah, absolutely, all that information was transferred over, it's all filled into the right spots, and let's go. But in some of the instances where the information does not completely populate and come over, you can do a quick search, and this little green check mark will pop up, and it basically will like confirm that the information here is correct by the Mendeley content library. So after that, you could just hit details are correct, and it finishes the citation. Now for adding the PDF, because this was an article that was attached to a full text document, we're going to go back to the entry. We're going to go to View Record from Science Direct. We're going to go that way. Now I'm pretty sure there's another way that we can also do this. We can do it from the Search USA part, but I believe, and I'll have to actually try this in just a few minutes, but I've actually got it to work where if you go directly, especially if it's one of these where you have to basically not link out of Search USA, but you're linking to the publisher's information, or at least into the publisher's page to get the full text. Sometimes you can get the full text by going to that publisher's website and then hitting the import tool. Sometimes you have to do it the way we're doing it right now, which is then you go to download PDF, download it to your computer, and I'll just say So there's that option, which then, of course, you can then go to the entry that's right here. You can either do right click to do this, where, let me see, you can right click on it.
And could you share the drag option as well
Yeah,
from the
absolutely.
desktop in? Thanks.
Yeah,
That was one of our questions earlier.
yeah, I'll
And
do
if you
that
could
one as
show
well.
going into a newer folder.
Yeah, sure, I can do that as well.
Awesome. Thank
So
you.
this would be, you can drag it for one, just like that was mentioned. I'm just dragging this document. You can see it, I'm sure. Dragging this from my desktop. This was the one that we saved. And then you can attach it to the entry here. So now it's attached to the entry. It's there for you. You can read it. You can go in, annotate it, put notes on different sections. Looks good. I guess that's what you would do if you were reading the article. I mean, I don't know. And so so you could do that. Save the article. Go back. That's one of the ways to add a PDF to an existing citation. Another great thing that Mendeley does too is that if you have existing PDFs on your computer, this is also a really good way to archive them. So I think Mendeley does this a little bit better than some of the other citation managers, is that they do a really good job at being able to extract the metadata, which is attached to PDFs, to create a usable citation. Maybe not 100% usable, but it gives you enough to where, like, you could, you know, click it and, you know, peck through some of the little details. But I'm just taking a regular PDF document that was on my computer, and I'm just going to drop it in, and it extracted the information pretty good. Yeah, absolutely. So, well, I wonder if I already had that one on there. That was almost too good. Let me see. That never happens. Let's see. Okay, let me try this one too. I think I had that one already on there. Nope, didn't have that one on there at all. And that one came in. So that was just from a PDF article that I had existing on my computer from working with someone else. And yeah, so, and then moving this document into my Mendeley library, it immediately was able to extract the appropriate data for me to have an actual citation along with the PDF document. Now, that doesn't always happen as nice as that. Sometimes you have to do a little legwork, but other than that, that's really how it works. And it's actually one of my favorite features. It's drag drop. You can create folders. Was that a question, Gemma, about creating folders?
Yes.
Okay.
The issue was basically they were having, let's see, able to create but not click and drag articles into the folder.
Okay. Yeah, well,
Was
let me
something they
do a
experienced.
quick create a folder really quick to see. I haven't had that problem before, but you know, that could be that well, we all do things differently. So, okay, so all documents, this section is of course going to be everything that is in your Mendeley library. And of course you can make folders and things like that to organize your library. I don't normally use Mendeley all the time. I use Zotero, but if my Zotero was up, you would see a ton of folders there. And that's kind of how I'm able to pull those together. Usually the drag drop is touching it, holding it, and you'll see that little number 1 pop up, and then take it to its folder and let it go. And we click on it, and you are right, it is not going in there. Not a very nice guy. Let's see, let me try this again. Thinking it would go. Definitely going to be a lot like Zotero, where if we do get it over there at some point, as far as the drag drop, putting it over there, it's still going to appear in your documents. Now, of course, another way to do it would be to right click on it, and we can usually Well, that is one way to do it. I could copy it. I wonder if this will do it. Oh, wait, I know what it is. I just figured it out. I think this is it. We forgot to sync. I believe that was the case. When you move it, you have to sync it, I believe. Let's see. No, maybe not. Well, that is a very interesting question. I have to figure that out after this presentation. I have not had that question before.
I'll make sure to write down their information for you, okay?
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. That's what it was. It was a sort of a operations error. It's able to move it into the library or into that specific folder, like so, drop it, and then I hit the sync button. And then that updated the library. And let's see if that one is over there. And it is. So yeah, it's kind of like an order of operations thing. Select the article, drag it over to the folder, make sure it's aligned with the proper area, and then hit sync, and it will appear in that folder. So I guess we just fixed it. That's good. So yeah, so crisis averted, which is nice. Now, if you want to find articles that are similar to the one that you are reading, you can click related, and it'll do a search for you in Mendeley's open access library that is just based off of the titles and of the information. Namely, if I believe it's probably based off of the keywords and titles that are located in the abstract and the title and throughout the entry. But yeah, that's what it does. It'll do a search for you and show you some of the articles that are available through Mendeley's open access library that you may be interested in, that you can just quickly add to your library. And I'll just add one for example, like this one, just to save reference. And it will most likely we'll go back to all documents. Like I said, you almost got to keep yourself into that habit of hitting the sync button. And so, yeah, then you're able to view the entry and so on. I do want to check one thing because, as I said, there are a couple of ways to add items to your library. You can also add items, like I said, if we were to come to this page from Search USA, you could probably hit the web importer. It may not download the PDF, but of course we already know now that we have to, in some cases, download the PDF and then attach the PDF to the citation in your library. So we already know that that's the case. I'm going to go back to Search USA really quick because, like I said, there's a couple of different instances sometimes that look a little different. And when we make it back there, okay, so I'm going to go down through here. I'll hit virtual reality. Let's try this one. Okay, looks good. Let's see. Okay, we were lucky here too. This one comes up as a reference, but of course the PDF is not coming up. We can also check to see if we can go to the if this goes to the publisher's webpage, which it does. It goes to Taylor and Francis. We may be able to add the article this way as well. There's a couple of different ways that you can do it, and that's one of the great benefits of using Mendeley is that it works well with things like web searching, which is what you do pretty much nowadays when you do any sort of research. So I'm going to click the web importer. And a cool thing that it does do, can be sometimes kind of annoying, but what it does do is that if you're on a full text article, especially like this one, of course, we have the option to download the PDF. Note it didn't download the PDF for us, which was kind of unfortunate. Of course, then we'll have to do that sort of workaround process to attach the PDF to the citation. But notice what it does when you're on a full text PDF article that's on a web page, is it not only will say, okay, This is the article that you obviously want us to move over. Otherwise, you wouldn't have clicked the button. But it also looks at the references that are attached to this article as well. So you see down here where it has the one that we're on, the one that we want to add, but then it goes down the list and starts adding the citations that are down here as well, and it'll look for PDF, full text PDF as well. Sometimes it won't grab them all. Sometimes it will be able to get the PDF, or sometimes it'll get the full citation for you. Sometimes it won't. As you can see, it says 13 references, and there are a lot more than 13 here. So it only got a handful of them, but it is an interesting feature. Like I said, sometimes it can be kind of annoying, but it is kind of a cool feature that they do have. And as you scroll down, it'll keep increasing in number. And then here's our little web page option again. But if the PDF for the if the PDF is available as an open access document somewhere, or if it is available through Mendeley's library catalog, then it'll pop up and say that the PDF is available, and it'll be in red. I'm trying to show an example of where the PDF is available, so we can have that as an example. I'll add this to my library and see if we can find another. The other way to add citations to your library, and this is particularly helpful when it only allows you to add it as a web page. You can also do the same thing that some users do when they're, oh, now great. This one actually, because it's probably an open access document somewhere online, it actually, when we clicked the web importer, it not only got our citation information and the bibliographic data, but it also gave us the PDF. So it went looking for the PDF, and lucky for us, it is available either in Mendeley's library or maybe somewhere else on the web, but it's there. So that's cool. We can add that to our library there. The other way to do it, of course, is sort of the EndNote version of having to export a reference. You can do it by, like, let's say we're not getting all the bibliographic data that we want. We can go Tools and Export. And then I know that it doesn't say Mendeley here, but don't worry about it, because the most important part of downloading downloading the bibliographic information is that as long as it is an RIS format, that means that it'll save properly within EndNote. It'll download it, then you open the download, and then it'll populate your library. You won't always have to do that, but I just wanted to show you that that is also a way of moving citations as well, as sometimes you have to download the RIS formatted citation versus just using the web importer. Most of the time, all you have to use is the web importer. Occasionally, yeah, you'll have to do the export it into your library. So that, I think, is what I wanted to cover with the Mendeley desktop application. Next is I'm going to just open a Word document so we can add a reference to a Microsoft Word document, just to show you the plugin part of that, because it's a little tricky. So if any of you all have used Zotero and EndNote, when you download the programs, they both include these Microsoft Word add-on plugins that will appear up at the top in your menu. I have them both showing for an example. But with Mendeley, when you download the program, it adds one of these as well, but it adds it under a heading. It doesn't show up in this little line up here, but rather under References is where it is. And you'll see the Mendeley icon right here. So this is how you would insert a citation into a Microsoft Word document. Do an example. References, insert citation. You can go to our Mendeley library. We'll just select one here, and just select one as an example. And then I'm going to go here to Cite, send citation to plugin is what it does. And okay, there we go. There's our in-text citation right there. And so for the bibliography version, click on bibliography, and then it generates it for you right there. Mendeley as well as Zotero both have updated up to APA 7th edition, so that's straight and good to go. You have that. But Mendeley, it's a great tool. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to show you. There's some definitely advanced features that I'm not covering tonight, but it's mainly out of not getting too far in the weeds. I noticed myself getting far in the weeds when I was talking about downloading the, the bibliographic data and moving it over into your library. That's even a little into the weeds. So definitely, if you haven't tried it or you want to play around with it, download the program for a little while, play around with it, add some articles, take some out, check out the citation feature. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always reach out to us in the library. Let me put my last bit of information up top, and then you guys are good to go for the night. Don't forget, we have a survey that we also have for these sessions as well. I really appreciate if you have the opportunity to take the survey. I'm going to post up my contact information in case you need to get a hold of me with any questions about Mendeley or anything like that. Let's do that now. And Gemma, can you give them the link to the survey? I think I put it in there at the very top. So once again, my name is Ryan Gaylor. I really appreciate you all coming out tonight, and definitely go and play around with the program and see what you like about it, see what you don't like about it, and let me know if you have any questions. Of course, you can contact me directly, my email, rgaylor@usa.edu, or you can contact anyone at the library at any time through library@usa.edu. So thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, especially if anybody has any questions.